ADC was that party that was supposed to be the biggest force against Tinubu. They had names like Peter Obi, Atiku, Amaechi, Adeoti, and they had the momentum going. But right now, they cannot even agree on who should carry their own ticket. One walked out of the meeting when they tried to pressure him to step down. Another one actually seen what was happening and quietly packed his bag and left the party entirely. The primary that was supposed to settle everything, we are not even sure if the primary elections is going to hold. This is the story of ADC. By the time this video ends, you will understand exactly what is going on with ADC and why it matters for us ahead of 2027. So stay with me. Welcome back to my channel. This is Adeoti Abayomi. I talk about Nigerian politics, current affairs, straight and simple, honest facts, no propaganda, no sentiments. If you are new here, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. I drop videos every day. Today, we're going inside the ADC, the African Democratic Congress, the party that was supposed to bring Nigerians together, the party that was supposed to be the biggest opposition against Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027. We are going to show you exactly what is happening behind the scene currently. Section number 1. First, who is in the ADC and why this matters for us to discuss today. Let me start from the beginning so that we'll be on the same page. The ADC, which is the African Democratic Congress, was supposed to be Nigeria's biggest opposition coalition. Was supposed to be one of the biggest chance we'll be having against the incumbent party. The idea was simple: bring together the biggest names outside of the APC under one roof, agree on one strong presidential candidate, and give Tinubu a real fight in 2027. At one point, they had Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president, the man who has been trying to become president since 1993, since when I was born. They had Peter Obi, a man who shocked Nigeria in 2023 with the obedient movement, with about 6 million plus votes on paper. They had Amaechi, a former governor of Rivers State and a former minister. They also had Dele, Momodu, a publisher, former presidential aspirant, and one of the most connected men in Nigerian political cycle. On paper, that was a very powerful coalition. A northern heavyweight, a southeast. Let's not forget, they also had Kwankwaso, a northerner. They had the south town governor and minister. They had a media public figure among them. So on paper, that was actually what was happening inside ADC. But right now, what is happening is a complete different story. Section 2, Peter Obi saw what was coming and he left. So let's talk about Peter Obi, because the way he left ADC, it tells you a lot about what is happening inside that party. When Peter Obi was inside the ADC, the plan was for the party to conduct an open presidential primaries. Peter Obi was seen in an interview saying it that they are trying to build a new Nigeria and they must conduct a primary. Every candidate will contest and everything will be free and fair. The winner will carry the party ticket, clean and simple. But something was happening quietly on the side. There were people inside the ADC who were pushing for a consensus candidate, which basically means instead of holding a proper primary election where everyone will vote, the party leader will instead sit down and agree on one person, and that candidate will now bear the party flag. Now ask yourself, if you are pushing for a consensus in a party where Atiku is the biggest name with the biggest dollar, who do you think consensus candidate was going to be? Are you getting the picture? So Dele Momodu himself said it on Channels Television. There was no guarantee that Atiku would defeat Peter Obi in primaries, because they were going to throw it open, and Peter Obi chose to go when he saw it. And part of the reasons he gave was that there were too many litigations in the party. That might not be the complete truth. Now, Dele Momodu said litigations, and that is true. The ADC had court cases, but reading between the lines, reading between the lines, Peter Obi is a smart businessman before he even became a politician. He could see that the party was being arranged in a way that would not favor him. He was saying that the consensus was going to be pushed towards the side of Atiku. So instead of fighting a battle that he could see already that it has been fixed, the battle has already been lost before he started fighting, he walked out quietly and joined the NDC. Even in his interviews, he never mentioned it, but he has seen it. We are reading between the line telling you now. Where he is now, NDC, he is the sole candidate. Nobody is challenging him. As a matter of fact, he left and Kwankwaso left with him. So Peter Obi did not basically run away from the fight. He simply refused to enter a room where the fight was already arranged against him. And honestly, that is not weakness. That is sense, wisdom. Section number 3. Amaechi is not going anywhere and he is serious. Now let's talk about the man who is causing real headache currently online inside the ADC, Rotimi Amaechi. Now, while Peter Obi chose to leave quietly, Amaechi chose to stay and fight. And he did not just want to, he's fighting loudly. Report says that ADC leaders are pressuring Amaechi to step down and to support Atiku as the consensus candidate. And Amaechi has rejected that completely. But it is not just that he rejected it, it is how he rejected it. Sources say that in a meeting where the party people were trying to convince Amaechi to withdraw from the race and back Atiku, he rejected it outrightly and walked out of the meeting in anger. And then he went on TV and said it directly to Atiku. I listened when the former vice president said he never failed the primary before. I hope this will be the first time he will fail the primary. The issue is that at all times, you, Atiku, has passed primary. You have not won an election. So it is about electability. Now, that statement alone, you will understand that this man looking at the camera, Rotimi Amaechi, is telling his rival, you have never won when it mattered. Why should it be different this time? And if you check back in history, Atiku has never won any primary election. Atiku, I used to call him the Arsenal of Nigeria, but Atiku is no longer the Arsenal because Arsenal has won the primary. Atiku cannot win. Anyways, during the live interviews, the interviewer told Amaechi that what if he will step down for Atiku to become his president. Amaechi did not take it quietly. He cut in and said, stop that, stop calling me vice president. I didn't buy vice presidential form. If you want to interview vice president, I can leave so that I can interview the vice president. That was on camera. The man is serious. He's not playing. He's positioning himself. He's telling everybody, the world, that I came to contest and he's going to contest. Now, what's happening behind closed doors is not known to us, right? Because in Nigerian politics, there are many rooms, many conversations we may never hear about. Maybe there is a deal being cooked somewhere. Maybe there is a number being discussed somewhere we don't know. But what we are seeing is what we are discussing right here. Facts, no sentiment. Because we have seen it with our own eyes. Amaechi is behaving like a man who is genuinely believing he can win the ADC presidential ticket. And that alone is shaking ADC from inside. In addition, if you take a good look at this whole thing, Amaechi is best to come out because he's from the south. But we are trying to sideline that zone thing and say it's not constitutional. Anyways, let's move to the next section. Section 4. Dele Momodu is stepping in to tell Amaechi to calm down. Now, Amaechi's comment about Atiku did not go unanswered, yeah? Because Dele Momodu, who is on Atiku's side, he is Atiku's ally inside the ADC. He has come out to respond. And Dele Momodu said on Channels TV, he said, Mr. Amaechi, in the name of the Almighty God, please cool down your temper. A potential presidential candidate and a possible president of Nigeria must watch his temper and temperament. And you don't need to attack Atiku. Now, read what Dele Momodu is doing here carefully. He is not arguing with Amaechi's point, though. No, he is defending Atiku's record of electability. He is telling Amaechi, your tone is wrong. Cool down. Behave like a president. Or a president to be. Which tells you that Dele Momodu does not have a strong answer to what Amaechi is saying. Because if he could easily defend Atiku's electability record, then want to know where you stand. Just defend that instead of attacking Amaechi's delivery, not his argument. Why are you attacking Amaechi's personality? And Amaechi's argument is valid. Atiku never won primaries. It was always on consensus. He wins through consensus, and then he lost in general election 2019. He lost again in 2023. At what point does the opposition ask, if this man cannot win everything he has tried, what do you think will make 2027 different? Section number 5, the consensus problem and the primary nobody is even sure about. Now, This part of the story should worry every Nigerian who is counting on ADC to provide a credible candidate. That is, those who are supporters of ADC. You should be worried. The ADC presidential screening has taken place, but currently the party has not agreed on a consensus candidate. The insider source says that the presidential primary itself, which is supposed to hold on the May 25th, is now uncertain. The reason given are financial challenges and the ongoing disagreement over the consensus. Let me break this thing down simply for you guys. The party does not have enough money to conduct primary. Is Atiku broke? Because the people who have money mainly in this party is the Atiku's camp. And they are not ready to release the money unless the outcome would be arranged in their favor through consensus. Are you getting the game? So Amaechi is saying, let us do a proper primary. Let the delegate decide. I bought form. Atiku's camp is saying, let us agree on consensus so we don't have to go through all that. We don't have the money. And that party is sitting in the middle, broke and unable to move forward. In fact, the cable newspaper described it perfectly. ADC now has 3 presidential egos and 1 ticket. ADC was built to unite what APC could not survive. Instead, Atiku Obi situation accomplished what APC strategies could not, tearing down coalition apart even before the campaign begins. Do you understand that? In plain English, APC were able to collide. That's why they won. But ADC, who were supposed to do coalition, but they could not. ADC has 3 big names, 1 ticket, no money, no agreement, and a primary date that nobody is even sure we hold. To me, that's not a strong opposition. That is a party in trouble. ADC is in trouble. If you don't want to agree, you just have to agree right now. You have to agree. Let me be very honest with you. The ADC had real chance to actually be a serious force against Tinubu in 2027. When names like Peter Obi joined, Kwankwaso joined, and then we have the Amaechi and all of that, I think El-Rufai was also part. They had the attention of Nigerians. They even had the goodwill of millions of Nigerians who wanted change. But here's the truth. Having big names is not the same as having unity. And without unity, all those big names, they cancel each other out. Well, Peter Obi saw this and left. He's now in the NDC, right? And in the NDC, they're already building something that actually looks organized. Here we have, in ADC here, we have Amaechi, Adeoti, Atiku. They are staying and they are fighting. But the more Amaechi fights in public, the more the internal wounds in ADC bleeds in the open. And Atiku, who has more resources than anyone else in that coalition, is using that resources to push, as always, for an outcome, as always, that will suit him rather than letting delegates decide fairly. Let people vote Atiku. And while all of this is happening, Tinubu is just sitting somewhere in Aso Rock, looking at them and smiling, because a divided opposition is the greatest advantage for the incumbency. So Tinubu is happy. The ordinary Nigerians who want change in 2027 does not care about Atiku's ego or Amaechi's temper or who walked out of which meeting. Every Nigerian care about one thing: who is the candidate that will be strong enough to beat Tinubu? Will NDC stand a chance if ADC is being divided this way? Anyways, right now, for everything we can see, no candidate has emerged from ADC yet. And if they do not sort themselves out quickly, the answer may never come from that direction. So guys, I want to hear what you think. Drop your answer, your thoughts in the comment section right now. Who do you think should carry the ADC presidential ticket? Is it Atiku, Amaechi, or Adeoti? Or do you think they will never unite? And do you think Peter Obi stands a chance, even with all of these candidates in the picture, against Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's argue on this properly. The ADC primary is supposed to hold on May 25. We'll be watching, and whatever happens, we'll break it down for you immediately, right here on this channel. Make sure you are subscribed and turn on the notification bell. You do not want to miss that particular video. Share this video with someone who is following 2027 race. Like this video so that more people can find it. I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, God bless Nigeria and God bless you.